I'm holding on to my desk here because I've got one of my comedy icons sitting here, fangirling a little bit. Felicity Ward, how are you?
I'm holding on to dear life.
I won't freak you out too much. Hey, you're here in New Zealand for the International Comedy Festival.
Yeah.
You've got the gala tonight in Auckland. Excited?
I'm heaps excited. I should know what I'm doing. I know kind of what I'm doing, but I've got to figure that out today. That's a very different feeling to 17 years ago when I started. I've sent the script. You've got to send the script in before. Anyway, this is so boring. I'm so sorry. I got it at midnight last night, and
you're on the delirium.
I'm on the delirium. Yeah,
I love that.
I'm on 20 grams of delirium.
Yeah, because the thing about the gala is it's kind of a smorgasbord of comedians who will be performing in the festival. And was it 4 minutes that you get on stage?
4 minutes. That's all.
Yeah,
but it's a big. I like a big room. I like a big stage and a big room and lots of people and lots of people laughing. That's what I like.
So your show is I Wish I Could Come Out of My Shell.
Yeah. It's an ironic title.
I was going to say, you're pretty much out of your shell,
Never been in. Never been in, mate. That's something, The show is, I thought it was a funny title. I always start with a title of the show and then I write stuff and then I figure out sort of how to, it's sort of like back recalibrates into fitting into the theme.
Yeah.
And the show is, this is so embarrassing, but I had 2025 was the best mental year that I had in like a decade. I live in the UK. UK is very sad and it's very hard and very sad. And then I did Dancing with the Stars at the beginning of last year in Australia, and it sort of rewired my brain. And then I had this incredible year, and look, it's hard. I realise that this is the middle of the day, so I'm going to say this as euphemistically as possible. I got a divorce and then I dated 50 people in 2 years. And so the show is sort of about the liberation of the person that I was and meeting lots of people and having lots of lovely experiences. But also it was kind of Dancing with the Stars was the catalyst for it, which sounds so mental to say out loud, but it's true.
And then you had sort of a domino effect from that because you got to open for Maria Bamford.
Yes.
How was that?
Well, I actually opened for her in 2018. That was the first time she'd ever come to London. And so the first time I literally ever did stand-up, Adam Hills, who's a comedian, Australian comedian, came up to me and he said, "Have you ever seen Maria Bamford before?" And I said, "No." And he said, "I think you'd really like her stuff." And then I watched everything on YouTube. I'm like, oh, there's no point to me doing comedy because she's done everything I didn't even know I wanted to. And then my friend is a promoter and she was promoting her when she came out and she was like, "Can I put your name forward to open for her?" I was like, yes, you can. And then she did 5 shows in London and it was like bringing Santa Claus on every night. It was like, "Do you children like Santa Claus?" And everyone would lose their mind and I do 20 minutes and it was the best. And so we just did it again.
That's so cool. And I have to mention.
You have to.
I have to mention
I don't know what you're going to say.
The Office, the Australian version of The Office.
You have to mention it.
Because I thought you were freaking brilliant in that. And I love that there's quite a Kiwi backing to that one because you had
Kiwis.
The actors like Josh and you had Johnny Bruff, but then of course you had Jackie.
The icon.
The icon.
My queen.
But you are such a queen. Like Hannah, she's an amazing character.
Yeah. It was just a dream job. I read it and I'm like, oh, I don't have to do any preparation for this because this is just me if I didn't have any shame. That's all it is. It was the greatest job. All I did was just the brief is be funny for 12 hours a day. I'm like, great. You're going to pay me for that? And then this is the thing about acting. This is they pick you up and then they take you to the set and then they feed you for free and then they do your makeup and your hair and all you've got to do is learn your lines and be funny.
Yeah.
I did that for 10 weeks. You feel like it's incredible. It's very hard after that going, wait, no one's making me breakfast this morning? Who's picking me up? Me?
It's like Disneyland every day.
Yeah, 100%.
Because is acting something you've always wanted to do?
Oh, I was an actor before I was a stand-up.
Amazing.
Yeah, I didn't make it, but I've got a lot more success in acting since doing stand-up than I ever did when I was just trying to act.
When you're doing a 1 hour show, you're not just flying that out of your head. You've practiced and you're tailoring it, and it's a craft that you're putting out there. So it's when you're doing stand-up, you're doing your acting and you're performing, and it's kind of bringing everything together into that one moment, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's skills that translate across all of the different crafts. But like when I was an actor, I was never going to do stand-up. Like the idea of being myself on stage was
Freaky.
just a non-negotiable, just absolutely not. But the thing is, like when you're on, I've done drama classes since I was like 7. So I've been on stage since I was 7. So I know how to stand on stage. I know how to talk into a microphone. I know how to project my voice. I know what lights feel like when I'm in the middle of a stage light. So all of that stuff sort of just subconsciously feeds in. And then you're on stage doing stand up and you're like, oh, I know how to hold a microphone but the actual like the craft of it is very, very different.
Yeah, and it's a journey, eh? Like when you first start to where you are now, you go, holy, I've learned a lot,
Mate.
Do you look at any of your earlier stuff?
I just like if a joke comes up like or an old reel or something, I'm like, pull it down. Like there's some that have been on YouTube for literally 15, 16, 17 years, and I'm like, mate, this is embarrassing to watch. I've never asked anyone to take anything down.
Yeah.
But
You just go, oh, fuck.
it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But you have to be bad to get good, you know?
But it's kind of fun to appreciate, to be like, wow, I've learnt so much in that time.
I think what I cringe the most at is how good I thought I was. I was cocky at the beginning. I was like, why isn't this happening? I'm this, and this. And you look back, you're like, far out. Because you weren't funny enough, Felicity. That's why.
Yeah.
You weren't good enough. I was really good at performing. Like I was really good at the stage bit, and I was really confident on stage, which is a huge part of it.
Yeah.
And then I wrote some really good jokes, but I also wrote a lot of, I don't know what the swearing policy is on here, but we can beat that out. Absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
Absolute dog shit. And the stuff that I thought I could charm my way through to the punchline, or I thought like, I can sell this idea. And I can, but if you write a funnier joke, you don't have to sell it as hard.
Totally. And that's what you learn, eh? I remember when I first started, I was like, I've got to write jokes. I didn't know exactly what a joke was, even a punchline at that point. I was just a storyteller.
Me too. I sell my jokes a lot less now.
Because I think it's like when you lose the enjoyment for anything, it's like
ADHD.
What hobbies have you got at the moment? I did drumming for 2 years. No.
So my thing is, I was talking to someone about this the other day. I never start anything because I know I won't follow through. So, and that's been a very small way to live my life. So I haven't like, I've played guitar since I was 15, but like I picked it up less and less and less. And there's also like the Venn diagram of, why did I stop this because I had ADHD? Why did I stop this because I was depressed? Why did I stop this because I had a kid? Like what part of it is there's so much.
Yeah.
There's so much.
It was funny when I started comedy. I remember all my family going, this is a phase, because I never stuck with, I could never finish anything.
I think dating women is the thing that I started and then stopped. And it's not because I'm not bisexual. I was, this is in the show. I didn't realize I was bi till I was like 41, 42.
Yeah.
And then I got divorced, and then I started dating women and non-binary people. And then it was more of a numbers game.
Right.
Where I'd never had flirty years with women or non-binary people when I was younger, so I didn't really know what I liked or who I liked or what I was attracted to, apart from when I'd see someone in the street and I go, fuck, they're hot. Yeah. And then I'm like, that's because women have beautiful figures, not because you're bisexual. And I'm like, that's right. They are just aesthetically more pleasing. You know, there was a few years of that.
Yeah.
And then when I went on apps, I didn't know what it was going to be like when I met up with them. And so anyway, look, that's also in the show. That's also part of the show. It's been a big couple of years, Beck.
I can imagine. And you got to do the Apollo as well.
Yeah.
Kind of like every comedian's dream, right?
Yeah. It's the second time I've done it. This time, and I say this with as much humility as I can, I absolutely tore the roof off. It's in the edit, it doesn't shine through. that's the thing. If you do a TV thing and you do really badly, you're like, oh my God, I hope they edit that okay. And they always do. But if you tear the roof off, you're like, well, that's not going to translate.
Yeah.
There's only certain bits that they can use. But it was honestly one of like the greatest gigs of my entire life. It was just magic. I had the time of my life.
So that sums up your 2 years of absolute.
And I did Celebrity Mastermind and I won it.
You did? What was your theme?
The band The Pixies.
Love the Pixies.
You have to love the Pixies. I was listening to Where Is My Mind yesterday. I'm like, if there isn't a Pixie song in your top 50 all-time songs, you don't know anything about music.
I when I saw the Pixies, it was in November where they talked us through the 2 albums, Bossa Nova, but usually when you go to a Pixies concert, they don't talk.
Oh my God.
But this was okay. So we started in Anaheim and then we went to Hollywood, and so they played. So it was like this. We don't surf, but this is our surfer inspired. I was just in awe for 2 hours. So they did.
God.
They did. This is me not having memory recall. So it was Bossa Nova and.
I know.
What was the other album? Anyway, here we go.
I can see the cover.
Same.
The pair of us. Okay, hang
anyway.
On. No, not anyway. We've got to figure this out. Bossa Nova, Trompe Le Monde.
Yes, Trompe Le Monde.
Trompe Le Monde. Oh, they did Trompe Le Monde and Bossa Nova.
So it was those 2 albums.
Oh.
And they took us through the journey and they explained, like they spoke in between. It was like, and at this point, this is, so it was like, and then the next night they did just Pixies Best Of and Hardly Spoke. So when I saw that one on the Sunday night, I even got my Pixies bag with the mushroom toadstool. I was just, highlight.
So I saw the Breeders, I think in 2017. And they played Last Splash start to finish, and I spontaneously cried 5 different times. One of them was because I thought they'd already played a song that they hadn't played, and then they played it. I was like, "Well, I love this song."
I've cried at so many gigs. When I saw Joan Jett, it was January of this year. As soon as she got on stage, I just burst into tears. I could not believe, and she blew my mind.
Amazing.
And same with Shirley Manson. When I saw Garbage, she got on stage, I cried.
Yeah.
It was just, I don't know. Been so emotional lately, but
I think it's also our age group though. Like if you think about, like when people talk about the 90s, if you were involved in the music scene, I was in a grunge band, like if you think back to what we got to live through, like the music that we got to live to, and I know that the Pixies broke up in 1991, they didn't reform until 2004. Obviously I know that because I did Celebrity Mastermind, but we were so lucky. Like imagine watching Hole come through and L7 come through and Garbage come through and even Annie Lennox as like a solo artist and no doubt to lesser extent.
Yeah.
And then we were so lucky. It was so fucking cool.
Elastica was one of my
Elastica?
Hello?
The Breeders?
Honestly, I think for me it's the nostalgia of it, because it takes me back to who I was at. You know, when music is like a time machine, it takes you back to a time and place. You can smell the room. You know exactly what you were wearing at the time. And listening to it now, and I look around, I'm like, who are these old people next to me? And then it's like, oh no, this is us.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. It's a reality check, but at the same time, it's like, fuck, this is where music was at its best.
It was
at its
so
absolute
good.
best.
And I look at, and I'm not someone that I listen to lots of contemporary music, and I'm a DJ sometimes. So, and I went through, after my grunge phase, I also went through I went out with someone who was a raver. So I went through a big EDM phase, and I did dance parties, and I was into big beat, and like, the whole of the 90s for me was so, like, the music of it had such an effect on me. And even when young people look back on that, they're like, it was so cool. I'm like, it really was.
And it was at that point where there was no social media. So we were there in the moment, soaking it up. Because it was a kaleidoscope. It was a smorgasbord. I just soaked that in.
But also the culture of it, like what we got to do. I don't know if you did this, but we had dance parties in people's houses, and we had like mattresses on the walls and sweat dripping off the ceiling.
I used to be a fire dancer, so I'd be out twirling fire.
There is nothing you could say that would surprise me less than you saying that you were a fire dancer.
And I used to skateboard as well, so I'd be dropping in on a skate thing, twirling, like dropping in on the ramp, twirling fire. Had dreads. I mean, I remember at one time I went super feral, and I lived on this riverbank for a bit.
Of course you did.
I remember just seeing my sister.
I know you've had that nose ring for
since
30
I was
years.
13.
Yeah. I'm like, that's not a new nose
I used to
ring.
have piercings everywhere. I never did the
Didn't you?
No.
That was my next question.
I microbladed my eyebrows because I plucked them to nothing
so
in the
sorry.
90s. But yeah, it was a vibe. The 90s were a vibe. Yeah. No, I mean, I could chat. I feel like I could chat with you for hours.
That's because we're both undiagnosed, mate. That's why.
Totally. So, Comedy Gala is kicking off tonight at the Kitty Takanawa Theatre. You'll be in Wellington
On the 8th and 9th of May, and then Auckland on the 10th. So I'm only doing 3 full shows in New Zealand. So please, I think tickets are selling okay.
Yeah, comedyfestival.co.nz.
That sounds right.
And Felicity Ward, it has been an absolute pleasure. Enjoy Fest.
An absolute delight. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.